welcome back to another 4 Triumph video with Ungainly Titan, and this continues on from the last video, although it's not a first attempt I had it. The first attempt failed because the game actually hung, which is why now we're on 0.13.01 because I waited for the update to fix that particular problem. So I immediately after completing meeting up with the party, we've gotten the 4th member. I would then engage in some going around the countryside and doing some of the random encounters. Well, they're not really random, but they're randomly placed as opposed to the start of the game. You can see more or less what's in the encounters to pick up both 3 reasons. You have to pick up experience from the actual combats. You pick up the treasure that the encounters are guarding. And you pick up renown from completing the fights to varying degrees of proficiency. So you have, at the very end of the fight, you'll see a score, kind of a rating of how you did in the fight, a bit like you go to school, so you have a kind of from A+ to I think E or F or something like that. But in that case your party is dead and you've lost the fight, and you're probably going to not want to continue if you've lost that badly. Now you have to balance the amount of these encounters you gain, because they're well worth doing, but they're not worth doing too many of them. You gotta keep in sight the fact that if, as you're doing these, you're also providing opportunities for the AI to do these, and it could turn out that the AI might benefit more from it than you do. So this particular one, but you should do some, because otherwise you'll be at the same level of experience and you might find the mission actually be a little bit on the hard side. Plus you get treasure, you get to upgrade your buildings. Now initially it used to be that there was a lot more Bitcoin farms around. They're tweaking around with the prices and levels, so things could change again. Now I've noticed there's kind of like 1 Bitcoin farm in your entire territory, and it's usually far away. But you kind of generate a lot more Bitcoins from buildings and stuff like that than you do from the Bitcoin farms. I personally think it should be probably the other way around, but anyway. So you have 3 things that you can do in your town. You can upgrade your town buildings, which will provide you with direct bonuses. So we've got the snake figurine here, which will provide a skill boost to one of my characters. And then this other encounter here also has a treasure chest of some sort, which will provide something useful, I hope, as well as the experience you get in the thing. But as I was saying, in the town, with sometimes you'll pick up Bitcoins, or you'll pick up mixtures of Bitcoins and magic and various other stuff like that in these encounters, or artifacts and stuff like that. So the previous one I got an artifact, this thing in a chest, I might get something different. Buildings can improve the performance of your town, or they can improve the performance of your party. So you have buildings like what you call it, the town hall, which will increase the performance of your town. Basically, you get more Bitcoin, which you can then spend on other stuff. You can get the infirmary, which will give you extra health points to your party members, which can be quite useful. You can get the university, which enables more advanced structures, and it enables, it's a minimum requirement for some of the guild improvements as well, but I'll get onto them in a moment. And finally, I think I might have gone through this before, but anyway, there's no harm in revising it. The final thing that you will get is you get stuff that directly benefit the party, like the Grudge Arena that I buy often, but it's quite expensive. The Grudge Arena will basically give you a retaliatory attack every time the enemy engages one of your melee units, a unit that can melee, in melee combat, so they get a retaliatory strike, which is almost as good as a free action point. I think it's quite a valuable addition to the party's grouping. So you need to get resources to build the buildings. You also gain renown in a fight, again depending on how well you can win the fight. obviously you're going to do better in fights that you have a more overwhelming advantage than you will in ones that are more even. So you probably want to take as unfair a fight as you can get if you want to build up your renown. And you get renown allows you to get the guild upgrades, and the guild upgrades can be quite potent. So you get, because the weapons 1, weapons 2, armor, and a variety of other things like that. They all provide useful stuff. So there now we've gotten 2 actually decent treasures there. We got the armor, and we got the snake figurine, which I deployed. And now it's time to look at some building upgrades, because we have some money. So I'm going for a citadel upgrade. It boosts the defense, although it's very hard to garrison the town in the current paradigm when you've only got hero units. It can be more effective sometimes to just have a party in the vicinity, and that's what I'm planning to do at the moment, so that I know that down near the mission, the story mission, there's a cage. So if I attack the cage encounter, if I do the cage encounter, I will get the option of getting a hero. I can get Bitcoin or I can get a hero depending on my current priority. So I'd probably go for a hero. It gives me essentially a hero and a party. And then I can buy an extra hero because I've upgraded the citadel. So then I can have 2 3-person parties wandering around the countryside, one of them pursuing the main storyline, because when I engage in the actual storyline, the additional hero is withdrawn, she was automatically, from my spare party, and the other party then go around mopping up the encounters that I haven't touched, like the ones over here just to the east of my current position, the dead creature, the stray magic piece, the guy sitting on the cloud. I'll do the guy sitting on the cloud here because he's on the way, and we've spotted the AI party appearing. He's gone and just cleared the encounter on the bridge. Now I've taken the experience from here because, again, leveling up the party I regard as fairly valuable, and I'll go for it a lot of the time. It depends on how I feel, how I feel in terms of the party experience. In the later game, I might not go for experience. I might regard the party as pretty solidly experienced vis-a-vis the AI parties, and actually go for the money or whatever the other option is at the time. So I think I'll actually wait and see. I can afford a hero right now, but I think I'm probably better off waiting until I can see what the other hero is. Now, just looking at the prices there, I'm actually going to lose money. It used to be a no-brainer. You would actually gain money. It was financially advantageous to do the hero encounters, take the hero, take the party, and you'd work out ahead because you get a party and a hero for 600. Whereas before, it used to cost like 400 to create a party, and heroes are more expensive as well. I think that might have been 100 Bitcoin more expensive. Can't remember now exactly, but they were more expensive than they currently are. So we're basically trying to do this encounter here. Now I want to get those seed spiders, as many of them stunned as I can possibly manage, because they're quite vicious if they actually hit you. And we've actually got a nice combination there, because we managed to get the seed spider lined up in front of another seed spider, and now we've 2 seed spiders stunned. And I think if we can reach with the savage, which we can, we'll get the 3rd one stunned as well. So that's all the major creatures stunned. There's a spiderling loose, unaffected, but he's a minor enough creature, and I'm not going to worry about the spiderling too much because it's going to be easy to get rid of. Spitting spiders headed off into the distance, and the 3 seed spiders have lined up in a row, which is quite neat as well. The Leandra can just go for Fire Blast, and that'll take out the spiderling. Leaves us with a burning tree, but there's no tree adjacent to it, so it's not going to spread. That used to be a problem in the other forest maps. The fire would spread; it could spread over the whole map if you started in the wrong spot at the early part of the battle, which I thought was both a plus and a minus, but it was something you had to be careful of. I did substantially burn down a forest once. Not all of it, but a good chunk of it. A lot of the map was inaccessible, shall we say, towards the end. But it wasn't inaccessible, but you could burn to death in the location. I'd nearly rather to kick the spider into the others and stun everybody and then kill them afterwards, but, you know, that's the way it happens sometimes. And we've stunned the spitting spider as well, because they can be a real nuisance. However, we have the movement and the action points, so we're going to stun that guy as well. It's not going to be a big deal. Spitting spider. Okay. What do we want to do? We might as well electrocute this guy. And then he'll take damage when the savage kicks him down range. And we get the stunning effect as well, so our two sea spiders are stunned. Savage doesn't need to be over there anymore. I think the paladin can mop up and he just goes down. The other sea spider's not going to attack because he's stunned, so he's going to try and move away. So if I kill one, I get the opportunity to attack against the other one if they move away, or if they stay where they are, well, I'll get attacked against them the next round anyway. So it's advantageous to me one way or the other. They used to always move away, but now they might not because of the improvements in the AI. The AI knows about attacking opportunities. Get rid of him and it leaves the ranger free to act. Although, yeah, will we manage to? We might be able to do something. We just have we don't, just a regular attack. So just put him in Overwatch instead. And might as well go for the attack. 81% chance of hitting. Didn't do enough damage. It's alive. But it's not a big deal. And it didn't do anything, so now we finish it off. That's it. Battle's over. We got an A out of that one in our grade, which is pretty good. That was worth 150 renown, and I think we had a decent amount of renown in already, so we have we could possibly get in a renown upgrade of 500 coins. Actually, it's still cost effective. They've dropped the number of coins. So 387 and 200 is 587. So it's actually more cost effective to get a hero this way than to buy a hero at the castle. Now what I've done there is I've taken actually my most experienced hero and put it into the party of newbies. That way I'll have one solid heavy hitter who can tank because he's a paladin, and the others then will have a better chance of building up the experience. And the idea would be then we do this encounter, shall we say the more experienced party will go after the next mission or go to explore the direction to it, and the less experienced party will do the exploring in the area and mopping up the minor encounters. So we've gone to the village, we've gone for the Gharzan Crunchybones encounter. They've met Lord Avathas Lionsmane, who was quite suspicious of them when the lady Aureline was mentioned, because he doesn't trust her. And now we have this encounter, so Gharzan Crunchybones is the main objective here. If you take out Gharzan Crunchybones, any remaining goblins will flee, but generally it's one of the last things you're going to be able to do, because there's a lot of goblins between you and him. And these encounters are arranged a bit like a mini dungeon in an MMO or an RPG, in the sense that you have a series of encounters. And if you do one before you trigger the aggro on the next one, they're actually not too bad. The problem occurs sometimes that if you're maybe moving around behind a building or something, or one of the enemy units retreats, that it triggers the aggro of the next encounter before the one you're doing currently completed. And that could trigger, sometimes you could finish up triggering multiple mobs. Now, at the way that it's designed at the moment, that doesn't seem to be likely the case. They've been playing around with the maps, so you've had different iterations, and I think currently it's easier than it was previously. I certainly remember coming in here and having at least six goblins in this opening area. Maybe 2 separate mobs, but they're all triggered. As soon as once you attack one, the second one will be triggered, so you're effectively taking on twice what I'm taking on now, and making it a much more difficult fight. And people retreating or trying to flank around could then trigger the next mob further in, and so on down the line. It also used to be that you couldn't enter into the houses, so now you can enter into the houses. So effectively, you've got more. You got more places that you can go to and move into in less overall real estate. So the map itself is the size, it is, and it doesn't have to be any bigger. Whereas before that, they had a lot more houses, but you had actually less real estate to play in because you couldn't go into the houses. Whereas now you can go into the houses and you can actually find mobs of goblins in the houses too, which can be tricky because they can be very easy to overlook in the houses. It's not necessarily obvious that they're in there. The houses are breakdownable with physics, so you can't interact directly with the houses usually, although there's a treasure chest inside in that house there, and I'm going to have to collect it. You don't interact with the doors to open them up, but if you kick somebody against the doors, they'll fall down. Or if they're already open and there's a golden archer or something hiding behind the door, you can kick the door down on top of them. So, that don't have access, as far as I know, to the upper floors. It's not gone quite full XCOM on us yet. Would certainly make things tricky, wouldn't it? Reminds me of the one complete and utter failure. This is the original XCOM back in the 80s? 90s? 90s, I suppose. Must have been the 90s. Don't think I had a computer in the 80s. 90s, and I had a XCOM, and there was a sectoid upstairs that I didn't know about. And I'd blown away the stairs before I found out about his existence. So I couldn't go up after him. And eventually the whole house, there was no pixel visible of the house, demolished. But I still hadn't got him. He was walking around on an invisible chunk of floor that I couldn't see. So we've encountered Gharzan. He's ordered the murder of the villages and he's fled back to his rearguard. It's essentially the next encounter on, and he will try and kill the villagers. Sometimes there's 2 villagers usually. Sometimes he will kill one, sometimes he'll kill both. Sometimes he won't. It depends on how many units you have nearby, how close you can get them, and whether or not they feel that you're a bigger priority. They tend to be a bit berserk anyway, the peasants. They're a separate faction, you don't control them, and they tend to just chase after the nearest enemy anyway and whack them with their farming implements, their forks. Although they're very heavy, clumsy forks. Real hay forks are actually much lighter than that. That would be massively heavy yoke to be trying to lift hay or straw with. You get really tired. I suppose you could do gardening with it, but I think gardening in those days were more mattocks and hoes and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't know, I remember the horses and ploughs. We were still using them in Ireland when I was really small, but just about finishing up. So here we have one of the minions has survived, and he's gone after the goblin shaman, and he's in a very awkward position because if I'm not careful, I will kill him. I think I can drop the street light on the goblin shaman without killing the peasant behind him. We will find out momentarily. We have, yes, I will find out right now, but see, if I hit the Goblin Shaman to drive him back and stun the guy behind him, I'll probably kill them. Peasant. And it's more useful to have him there, because he's a distraction to the enemy. Keep him alive as long as possible. So, can we get up there? We can get up there. That probably can kick the bag. Should be able to kick the bag into the Goblin. And I might be able to do it without hitting the minion. Yep. That worked out nicely. So now we have advanced Lord Lionsmane, but he's not close enough to get it done, so we just put him on to brace him and to minimize any incoming damage that would hit in his direction. Because we can't afford to lose him. Lose him is lose the encounter. The Goblin Shaman took a fair bit of punishment there for the electrocute spell, and the peasant's going to go after him and finish him off. So, how many is left? I noticed too with the pinks and brown, more pinks and reds on the map. I sometimes actually mislay a goblin. Don't realise that I can bypass one of them and don't realise they're there, especially they're inside in houses. Now we need to, we've what? We can see more now again that he's moved up. So that guy's stunned. Regular attack, 31%, not great. 40%, a bit better. We'll try that, we miss. And we need to go around and deal with this guy. First of all, make sure he goes nowhere. Heal myself up and just bounce him off the wall. And we bust down a section of the wall as well while we're at it. So we bring this guy up and he does the default attack. I really thought I just clicked on the ground in front of the goblin. I must have clicked on some part of the goblin there. I try and avoid doing that because it's not necessarily the attack that I wanted to do. But essentially, if any part of your cursor clicks the actual creature rather than the ground in front of it, or beside it, then it will do the default attack on the creature. Which is, I find sometimes annoying because I'm beginning to think too that I've played XCOM on the Xbox. I can't remember whether it does it on the PC or not. But on the Xbox, the entire volume that the creature, if you're clicking on the square that the creature's on, then the entire volume of the creature is outlined in a little goldy cube. And it really lets you know that you've selected the creature and not selected the square beside them. And in fact, I think in the Xbox version, the actual squares are illuminated as well when you're moving. I'd have to check now, but I think it was something like that. It's been a while since I played it on the Xbox, because I think that was an Xbox 360 release. I think it might have been updated now. Might be available now. It probably is available now. I think XCOM 2 is available now on the Xbox, but I never got it for the Xbox. So, finish off this guy. And more leveling. More leveling. Yes, power. Getting the second claw attack is really valuable because it does bleeding. And ongoing bleeding is good. This guy has ran through my lines all the way around to the back. So we're just going to have to deal with him. Which is an awful waste of time and resources because it's stuff I could be doing going forward and getting Gharzan Crunchybones. Well, I suppose I could have done that too. Could have ignored him and just rushed forward. The trouble is he'd start shooting people from behind and then he'd be negating their cover. And it's well off to get rid of him. Clear your area and make sure there's nobody in it when you're, and keep moving forward. Don't let people flank you or cover your rear area or whatever. We're still not close enough to activate the mob on the bridge, which is just as well, because there's probably going to be quite a mob on the bridge as well with Gharzan, so we want to get rid of these guys first. Make life as easy as possible. Peasants coming back, because this is where the goblin is. And he don't like goblins. Right. Might as well advance out. The goblin in the back well covered. There's a savage and the peasant are there as well. One or other of them is likely to get him. Well, I think he's uninjured at the moment, so the peasant won't kill him in one shot. And if he gets an archer, so he needs to get distance. So he's probably not going to risk triggering the attacking opportunity of the savage. I was wrong, which goes to show I have a terrible memory. He's only got 2 hit points left, so the peasant would kill him. Although he could probably just as easily kill the peasant. He easily does more than 3 hit points of damage now. I might as well march the savage as far as I can. Now, will this trigger? I think this will trigger the bridge. Yes. This triggers the bridge encounter. So we have a whole bunch of goblins again, and some of them were goblin bombers, which were really scary the first time I encountered them. They were crazy. They were as much danger to their own side as they were to me, or to the enemy. In fact, they were probably more danger to their own side than they were to the enemy most of the time. But sometimes they caught you in the wrong place. They could just crucify a large chunk of your party because they were very free and easy about self-detonation. Whereas now they're not as inclined to do it. Of course, when they were free and easy about self-detonation, they could stun or kill a sizable chunk of your party, but they could also just as easily stun and kill most, if not all, of their own allies. Right, Mr. Peasant is coming all the way up from the back, and now we've one of them still alive, one of the old group, and there he is. Need to get rid of him, and then there's the others. Some of them have come off the bridge as well. Now the goblin bomber here is a priority to get stunned, although that's not really going to be that difficult. We're going to be stunning one way or the other. He's very conveniently behind a tree, so we should be able to knock the tree on him. Let's see if we can get rid of this guy. 99%, yes, guaranteed hit. That's him out of the action. Push forward, forward is the word. And we can use him. 100% chance of hitting the tree. And it will fall in the right direction. So we've stunned the goblin bomber. And our savage is very far back. Very far back indeed. But I don't want her out in the open. We want Krita in cover. And she's got 1 hit point or 1 action point remaining, but it's not of much use to her now. That would trigger an attack of opportunity. Don't see any particular reason to do it. Let's blind the goblin bomber. Blinding the shaman might have been more use. Brace him for the attack because there are more out there. Now, Lord Avatas is going to lift. I don't want to kick. No, not kick. Lift. Yeah, that's it. The tree stump, you see, I couldn't kick because if I kicked the tree stump, it wouldn't move. Got both of them stunned. And I might as well move up to shoot. I could risk it, I suppose, but I won't bother. And somebody shot and missed. Somebody shot and missed. And he didn't miss. And this goblin bomber has gone behind that tree. He frightened the life out of me and he moved a step backwards like that. I thought, is there somebody else behind me? But I don't think there is. I don't think it's just some glitch in the pathfinding. And lightning, because there's a goblin out in the open, which makes it an easy to anchor the lightning off of, and that gets rid of the goblin bomber, which means I don't have to melee them or kick them away to get rid of them. Yeah, because again, you don't want to be beside a goblin bomber when it detonates, and the paladin certainly doesn't want to, because I think Solaris is on 9 hit points, but he would possibly survive detonating goblin bomber as long as he didn't bounce off anything. But it would be a bit too risky, really. So, what's left? Goblin Shaman, Scout, Raider, and Gharzan. And we have more levels, more experience. Can't get into attack range of anybody, so there's no point in trying. Just get into cover. Get into cover and brace, maybe. In theory, I could move right out to the back, but that would be just exposing me to everybody's attack. I don't see any particular point on that. Now, we'll go over there, I suppose, and just kick him into oblivion. And he dies one way or the other because he triggers overwatches and all sorts of stuff. Now this Solaris Iron Floss can move up and brace for free. And there's Gharzan spotted, and we kick the Shaman into touch. So the stunned Shaman, always useful because that's another ranged attack. And I think this Shaman has physics effects as well. So Gharzan comes out, kicks the barrel or whatever into Solaris, but Solaris didn't hit anything else, so he just took damage and did not suffer from stunning. Stunned heroes are really bad because you don't have a lot of action points to spend anyway. The action economy favors the creatures most of the time. Maybe not now, there's so few left, but generally when there's a lot of creatures in play, the action economy favors the creatures. So stunned heroes are very, very poor. And of course, if you're in against an equal number of heroes, they've got the same action economy, and again a stunned hero is a very big and crippling blow. So we can now pull the Shaman forward and stun the Shaman and get Gharzan back into a position where somebody might be able to reach him, but not this round. The Savage certainly won't do it. Rightio, we're still making up our minds what we're doing with the Savage. I could possibly reach with a slash and dash, but I've decided not to. And Solaris can reach. And Lord Lionsmane has taken a bit of damage as well. Now, we've blinded the archer, and we're almost up to there. So we have Gharzan Crunchybones in a zone of control. Neither of the others can do anything, but I suppose he's hit him. Gharzan Crunchybones is within, shall we say, somebody could take him out almost. Now, at very long range, the risk to the wizard actually was quite limited. And we've triggered the last Overwatch, so all the other characters are now free to move. And we might as well do something. Electrocute. Push up. Right, I wandered around the map a bit there. And what do we do here? Get another stun in on the Shaman. All we need to do really is get rid of Gharzan Crunchybones. Now he's now what are we gonna do? We can make an attack. We can lift him. Solaris takes him out, and it's game over. Fallbacks. Gharzan utters his last words, and some debate as to what it means. And then the village folk come out and they cheer Lord Awathas for saving them. Party gets ignored. And I don't hang around for the rest of the speech, so we only got a C in that one. We could do a lot better. C, must try harder. The Aurelian contacts the party and say, right, the follow-up mission is over there. And at that point I decide, right, we're going to call it a halt for the evening, or at least we're going to save here, and I'm going to call it a halt for this video. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and a share. Feel free to comment if you have not already done so. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Really helps the channel out, and I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.